Welcome to Hassan Sorrells Presents episode number, what episode number is this? This has got to be 31. 31. Thanks, Stephen. Again, back here, in the office. So today, want to talk about three things, actually. Just saying something that is really showing up to me in the culture and is showing up to me sort of in general, not necessarily in social media, but just in the culture overall, particularly the corporate training culture that I'm in. And with clients, I'm seeing this, and with leaders, I'm seeing this. And so I want to talk about three areas that I think are very important for leaders to have sort of a rock solid understanding or at least comfortability with. So the first thing is there are three C's. Actually, not even the first thing. The whole thing is this. There are three C's to modern communication: clarity, candor, and courage. Clarity, let's start with that. If you have absolutely no idea what you're saying to the people that you're leading, if you have not thought about what you're saying to the people that you're leading, if you haven't even thought about the implications of what you're saying to the people that you're leading, if you don't have enough self-awareness to understand that when you drop a rock in the pool, that the ripples of that are going to go out in a person's life, and if you're not willing to take responsibility for that in the people that are following you, you need to rethink clarity. Clarity is hugely important. So when I talk with my interns, right, I was talking with my intern Mark, and you should follow him on Twitter. He's a genius. But intern Mark, we were talking the other day about something very personal. I'm not going to get into it right here on the video, but I was communicating with him with clarity. I think you'd probably agree with that, right, Mark? Yeah, communicating with clarity. He's off camera right now, you can't see him, but communicating with clarity, because I've been thinking about certain things that I believe fundamentally about leadership and about development and about the organizational structure of Hassan Sorrells Presents and the work that he's doing. I've been thinking about it for quite some time, and I can communicate that to Mark or Stephen or Tiffany or Bridget or whoever. Clarity is hugely important. Knowing what you want to say and then saying it. The second C, number 2, is courage. I want to pause on this one for a little bit because courage is hugely important, and it is one of the major things that's lacking in modern leadership communication. Look, we spend a lot of time wrapping our language and wrapping our communication up in a lot of BS. And by BS, I mean Barbara Streisand, of course. Look, jargon, platitudes, using the language of principles to talk about positions. By the way, that's a negotiation trick that politicians use. Just look at any political leader you've ever met and just, listen to what they say. But courage, the courage to actually say the thing that matters in the moment, regardless, not of whom it hurts. We should always be thinking about that. And not even regardless of consequence, although sometimes we should be doing that, but regardless of whether or not people's feelings are going to get hurt is hugely important. Look, your feelings are great, and I'm glad you have them. I have feelings, you have feelings, everybody here has feelings, we all have feelings, but the courage to say the thing that is the truth, that needs to be said out loud, so that the organization, the team, the followers can move forward, that's courage. And courage is something that is sorely lacking when we hide behind jargon and BS and the latest social media post. One thing I say to my students at Binghamton University or any place that I'm teaching, Lemoyne College or wherever, is we have to get past goals and ground rules as mere platitudes and marketing statements. Goals and ground rules as platitudes and marketing statements. We have to have the courage to say what is true. Clarity, courage. And then, of course, the last C, the third C, is candor. No one likes to hear, and by likes I just means enjoys hearing the truth. I don't even enjoy hearing the truth. By the way, the truth comes to us in the form of feedback. So when I run this video, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to look at it played back, and then Stephen and Mark are going to look over my shoulder, and if it sucks, Stephen and Mark probably aren't going to tell me it sucks. So I have to have enough self-awareness and wherewithal to go, you know what, hey, that pause there, it kind of sucked. Or hey, you probably shouldn't have stuttered that much. Or hey, your hands are moving around too much. Or hey, the glare on your glasses, it's really kind of ridiculous. That's candor. We've got to have candor. And look, the closer you get to the organizational center, here's something that I've blogged about. You can go check out my blog, and you really should be reading that on a weekly basis and a daily basis. But the closer you get to the organizational center of something, the harder it is for leaders to be candid. And I don't mean telling the truth to hurt. I mean telling the truth because the truth is what matters. One of the functional problems we have, and I've been saying this in workshop after workshop over the last 3 years, and I'm going to say it on this video, and you can mark it down. I don't know what this moment is, but you're going to mark down this moment. It's going to be over in this corner, and you're going to say mark here, right here now. One of the organizational problems that we have is we have leaders who are not statesmen. We don't need more politicians in our organizations. We need more statesmen or stateswomen, depending upon how you want to frame that, and gender has nothing to do with it. We need more people who are willing to speak up with clarity, candor, and courage. That's what the greatest statesmen of the last 20th century did. Look, when John Kennedy said we will go to the moon at the end of the decade, what did we do? We went to the moon at the end of the decade. I love that speech that he gave at Rice University in Houston in 1962. He said, and we'll do the other hard things too. And he didn't mention what those other hard things were. But I'm sure he was thinking about a whole laundry list of things, from dealing with the Russians to civil rights. Clarity, candor, and courage. Look, if you want to be an organizational leader, if you want to communicate clearly, you've got to nail the 3 C's. And so that's my one thing for today. Look, if you disagree with me on this, if you think that you are communicating with clarity, candor, and courage, if you think that your leadership style allows you to go to the center and say things that have meaning and be a statesman in your small business or in your medium-sized business or on your corporate team, if you think that that allows you to make certain changes in your nonprofit or your little league or your volunteer or your church or temple or synagogue, if you believe you're already doing this, show me. I dare you. Put something in the comments. Either comment below on Facebook, comment to me on Instagram, talk to me on YouTube, comment below the doodly-doo. Tell me, how are you communicating with the 3 C's? Or, if you want to get really deep with me, tell me how you're not communicating, how you're missing with any of the 3 C's. Clarity, candor, and courage. Look, you've got to nail those 3. So tell me, inform me. Your comments, to borrow from another guy who's got a show here on YouTube, your comments are my oxygen. The way that you engage with me, the feedback that you give me, this is what keeps me going week after week, dropping every single one of these videos and letting you know what's in my head. And by the way, that's about as candid and clear and courageous, particularly in receiving your feedback, as I can possibly be. All right. I think that's a wrap. I think that's all I had.